Hello and welcome to the Cairo International Stadium in the capital city of Egypt. This is where the 2024 FIG Apparatus World Cup Series begins. We are in North Africa, one of the hubs of human civilization, and if it's history you're looking for, history you will certainly get here today. One of the great indoor sports complexes, seats around 10,000 people, and in an Olympic year, we welcome you to this first leg of the FIG Artistic Gymnastics Apparatus World Cup 2024. Located in Nasr City, a suburb around 10 kilometers northeast of central Cairo. But what is significant is the number of athletes that have entered. Over 300 gymnasts from over 70 countries entered to participate at these championships, almost twice as many athletes as last year. This is what's coming up on the schedule today, as it's the finals of day one. Men's floor, women's vault. We also have the pommel horse, uneven bars and rings for you to enjoy. We've got medal ceremonies in between as well, but you will watch some of the very finest athletes performing in front of you here and now. The qualification is complete. 10 apparatus finals over 2 days of competition to come. This is day one of the finals. And for some, the focus is on qualification or preparation for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. For others, the focus is on achieving their best here and now. Maybe creating a little bit of form in an Olympic year as well. Olympic qualification itself is a relatively complicated matter, but in simple terms, what counts in the FIG World Cup Series is simply the best 3 out of 4 results from the World Cup Series. One great thing that the World Cup Series does allow for, it provides a pathway to the Olympic Games for those who are distinct apparatus specialists. But any gymnast who secures a spot for the Olympic Games via the Apparatus World Cup will be able to compete in all events in Paris. The judges making their way out. Competition that is assessed and evaluated by the judges, all in real time. No slow motion replays for the judges. They'll be marking some of the very top athletes in the world. The series beginning here and now. It'll also head to Germany, Cottbus next weekend, then Baku in Azerbaijan in early March, before concluding in Doha in Qatar mid-April. There's 20 Olympic berths up for grabs through the World Cup Series. Tickets to Paris will be bestowed upon the series' top 2 eligible performers on each apparatus. And as the judges make their way out to music that suggests we're in North Africa, we are indeed in Cairo. The athletes to be introduced for the very first final, the men's floor. Georges Escobar of Cuba, 21-year-old student athlete studying physical education. Man from Astana, Kazakhstan's Dmitry Patanin. 8 competitors who will go in the final. And for each final, 4 athletes will go in a first cycle after a warm-up, and then the opportunity for the next 4 to go after a brief warm-up as well. Ilyas Azizov of Kazakhstan. Benjamin Osberger of France, 22-year-old armed forces athlete since last year. The man will be looking to compete at the Olympic Games on home soil later this year. Now less than 6 months away. Kim Han-sol of Korea Republic, a man from Seoul. He's been the heartbeat of the Korean team for a number of years now. Australia's Clay Mason-Stevens, a man from Adelaide, will also compete in this men's floor final. Eddie Penev, he replaced Tanigawa Wataru in the final. He was first reserve initially, Eddie Penev. And from Republic of Korea, Ryu Sung-yoon, 21-year-old who was a gold medalist at the 2019 Junior World Artistic Gymnastics Championships on the floor. And these are the 8 competitors who will battle for gold, silver and bronze, and indeed invaluable ranking points in the men's floor final. Artistic gymnastics itself creates such a buzz at any major event, but the floor exercise is certainly one of the more spectacular. If you don't think people can fly, this is certainly one of the apparatus you need to watch.
And the first 4 gymnasts may go. Gentlemen, you have 2 minutes.
Quick acknowledgement to the judges, and there's a 2-minute warm-up period for the first 4 athletes who will go in the rotation: Escobar, Patanin, Azizov and Osberger. And then after a brief warm-up opportunity, the second cycle of 4 athletes will go: Kim Han-sol, Clay Mason-Stevens, Benev and Ryu Sung-hyun. Escobar will go first in rotation. He qualified 4th overall, 14.133. For the student athlete. There's Osberger. Looking for those crisp landings in competition. Just going through the warm-up drills. Practicing a few tumbling passes. And these athletes would have been limbering up for hours already. Escobar. Didn't have a particularly good Pan American Games, did Escobar, but he's a fantastic competitor. It's great to see him in this final. Osberger, meanwhile, will be looking to impress. First, Dmitry Patanin and Ilyas Azizov from Kazakhstan will go in the first cycle. The first 4 athletes, having qualified 5th and 6th, Patanin and Azizov. There's certainly room to improve on their qualification scores. Azizov at just under 14, 13.933, and Patanin at 14.066. So this is where it all begins. The World Cup Series of 2024 in Cairo. Day 1 of the finals. Men's artistic gymnastics. The floor final. And first up, Diorges Escobar of Cuba. A 21-year-old student athlete studying physical education, an up-and-coming Cuban star. Escobar first in this men's floor final, having qualified 4th with a score of 14.133. It's a lovely first tumbling pass. Looking for the crisp, steady landings. Lovely height, a little skip forward on the landing. Just a slight correction. Some strength elements. Must do a handstand as well in your routine. The focus is on the tumbling passes. Very polite applause, an accomplished performance to start the men's floor final, and that is a delighted coach.
You are the very first finalist here in Cairo.
Some dynamic tumbling skills.
He's 21 years old. This is his very first World Cup.
A man who's excellent on high bar as well, or horizontal bar. But this is a really strong start for Escobar, who faltered slightly at the Pan American Games. And plenty of congratulations all round. Deservedly so. Such great amplitude with his opening tumbling pass. Knees nice and close to the chest. The man who is the lone competitor for Cuba at the last World Championships is down on his qualification score, 13.900 for Escobar. Dmitry Patanin is next to go. One of two athletes from Kazakhstan competing in this men's floor final. The man who took up the sport in 2005, nearly 2 decades on. Here he is, competing, a veteran performer, despite his relatively young age, being only 23.
And now from Kazakhstan, Dmitry Patanin.
Oh, just a little correction, a little step forward, and unfortunately a 0.1 penalty will be applied for every step out of bounds. Great speed though, and again wonderful height. Sound agility in his leaps. Now into the manner. Just a few small landing adjustments for Patanin. Otherwise, some lovely work, building up to a crescendo. The man from Astana. A warm embrace for his compatriot Ilyas Azizov, who will be next to go. And a man who won floor gold at the 2022 World Challenge Cup in Mersin.
For Dmitry Patanin back in 2022. Let's see what he can do here today, or at least what his score will be.
His best result at the World Championships, incidentally, came on this apparatus, the floor, and that was his opening tumbling pass, just stepping out of bounds, so he'll have that 0.1 penalty deduction. Lovely technique, nice and steady with the manner. Dmitry Patanin. First tumbling pass, though, is going to be problematic. 0.1 penalty if only one foot is out of bounds. Might have had both feet out, which will be a 0.3 penalty. So a man who scored 14.066 in qualification, 13.700 in the final. That is down to going out of bounds. Ilyas Azizov of Kazakhstan next to go. 13.933 in qualification. He qualified 6th for this final. And getting some very, very polite applause here. This is an accomplished routine so far. Showing some incredible strength. Just a correction on landing. A man from Almaty who enjoys spending a great deal of time in nature. You can often find him hiking in the mountains, incidentally. Speaking of stepping outside, he's just stepped outside. Just a foot out of bounds. Lovely way to end.
Exercise of Ilyas Azizov. He's 24 years old.
Azizov
1 year older than Dimitri Patanin.
does not look the most delighted athlete with that routine.
When he's not training, Ilyas, he likes to hike in the mountains and spending time in nature.
Very, very clean gymnast. Incredibly competent.
Beautiful country.
Great speed. Very good in the air.
One of the most beautiful.
Lovely height. Good knee tucked in.
Kazakhstan.
And the knees nice and tight up into the chest. Diagonal handstand as well. Before that final tumbling pass. And a moment of embrace as well for Osberger. So 13.933 in qualification for Azizov, 13.633. And that 0.1 deduction as well. He's stepping out of bounds. Now the last of the first 4 athletes to go in this men's floor final at this Cairo World Cup is from France, the host nation of the Olympic Games later this year to be in Paris, the capital city. Benjamin Osberger qualified 3rd. The 22-year-old, 14.166 in qualification, only just behind Kim Han-sol. Slightly improved performance here, and he might be in with a chance of a gold medal. How positively does he start? Very positively indeed. Unfortunately, hops out of bounds. Again, great amplitude. Into the Wendeschwing. Really nicely done. Splendidly executed. Needed to watch that landing, couldn't keep the foot in bounds. And a grimace from Osberger. He knows the penalty is coming. But still a very, very fine routine. Some crisp landings. Gymnast who really pays attention to the core aesthetics.
And the next four finalists will now warm up. Benjamin Osberger, 22 years old, he was born in the city of Colmar, not too far away from the Swiss and the German borders.
And that was what is going to cost him, that landing unfortunately out of bounds. Man who had that ACL injury to his left knee last year and has come back splendidly. A man from a family of gymnasts, including his father and grandfather, who were both gymnasts as well. The next four athletes in the final. Two from Korea Republic, one from Australia, one from Bulgaria. All warming up. Osberger, man whose dream is to compete in Paris at the Olympic Games. 14.166 in qualification. 13.633. Both feet out of bounds and then 1 foot out of bounds. Means that's a 0.4 deduction. And he's significantly down on his qualification score by over half a point. There's Eddie Penev, who was the first reserve for this final and replaced Tanigawa Wataru in this final, the Japanese gymnast, who incidentally has a brother competing at these championships as well, Kakeru Tanigawa. And Eddie Penev himself has a competitive gymnast brother, Kevin, who's already qualified for the Olympic Games in Paris. But first to go in the second cycle, as it were, is Kim Han-sol of Korea Republic, a man who qualified second for this final, 28-year-old from Seoul. And having had the opportunity to enjoy his routines at the Asian Games in 2018 and 2022, he is a phenomenal competitor. Kim Han-sol of Korea Republic. 14.200 in qualification. This is his routine in the final. He's deceptively quick getting into his tumbling passes. Good use of space as well in this floor routine. Maybe just lost a little momentum. A lovely way to end for Kim Han-sol, the reigning Asian Games champion, a silver medalist on floor at the World University Games a few years ago. The man who's also got World Championship bronze on vault. the Olympian.
In order to be on the podium so far.
Lovely work from Kim Han-sol. Just showing some strength as well, that diagonal handstand.
Still in first place, the athlete from Cuba.
A man that studied physical education at Korea National Sport University. With a very solid performance in this floor final. Just a little trouble on one of his passes.
And there's a score 13.566 for Kim Han-sol.
So down by nearly a point on his qualification score, 14.200, 13.566. Kim Han-sol, execution of 7.766. Next to go from Australia, Clay Mason-Stevens, qualified 7th for this final.
And the final score
13.900 for Clay Mason-Stevens of Adelaide in Australia. From qualification to the final. Oh, great height to start. Stays in bounds. And remarkable that he's still so incredibly competitive after the serious damage he's done to his knees over the years. Into the handstand. He's had surgery to repair a torn ACL. He's damaged his medial collateral ligament, his meniscus as well. Posterior cruciate ligament in his left knee has had work done. He had previously ruptured an ACL back in 2017. And to be able to be performing at the very highest level is a credit to this athlete. He studied in the United States, studied kinesiology. Strong way to finish. Trying to secure an individual ticket to Paris is Clay Mason-Stevens. Now the score to beat is still Diógenes Escobar's 13.900. 13.633 is the score to beat to get onto the podium. With an initial handstand, falling over slightly.
He's 26 years old, he was born near Adelaide, Clay Mason-Stevens. Silver medalist all for
Clay Mason-Stevens.
championships in Canberra last year. And bronze for
Currently the three athletes who are on the podium. Clay Mason-Stevens waiting to see if he shifts onto the podium himself. 13.900 is the mark he needs to beat to go top. The man who climbed Kilimanjaro in November last year, just after the World Championships. 13.200. And maybe marked down for that handstand he wasn't able to control. Well, this floor exercise is opened up completely. 13.900 is the mark to beat. Eddie Penev in qualification, 13.830, the 33-year-old, who replaced Tanigawa Wataru in the final, the older brother of Kevin. Penev, who has already qualified for the final, great speed with that first tumbling pass. A man who has a floor element named after him, the Penev. So far, every athlete in this final is down on their qualification mark. Can Eddie Penev change that? Man who studied architecture at Stanford University in the United States. Just a little adjustment on landing. Eddie Penev with a smile. His parents both represented Bulgaria in artistic gymnastics. So Penev will wait patiently for his score to come. Lovely height again. Looking to put in a memorable floor final. Just a correction on landing. Nothing overly serious. Born in Sofia, moved to the United States with his parents at the age of 3. He's represented both the United States and Bulgaria internationally. Eddie Penev looks pleased, certainly delighted to be competing in this final. Considered a second chance, coming in as first reserve. And maybe a chance on the podium as well.
And there's his score. Look at that, 13.8. Eddie Penev will be on the podium.
Eddie Penev, 13.8 with an 8 for execution. Added to his 5.8 difficulty, finds himself on the podium. Currently second behind Diorgis Escobar. But if anybody can win it, Ryu Sung-hyun of Korea Republic is that someone. The 21-year-old from Seoul qualified with a 14.266. He has the difficulty edge, 6.1. But execution-wise, how will he fare? Escobar made up for his lower difficulty with an excellent execution, and he sits top at the moment. Just a toe out of bounds. Wonderful height. And this man certainly has rhythm. He has agility in his leaps. He's got the difficulty elements as well. A slightly jarred landing on one of his passes, but other than that, a very confident routine from Ryu Sung-hyun of the Republic of Korea. Now the mark to beat is 13.9 to see if he can claim the gold medal, and he seems confident. He's an assured gymnast.
All floor exercise.
All it comes down to, though, is his execution. He's got the edge with his difficulty of 6.1.
Final World Championships in Liverpool as well.
The man who took gold on the floor at the 2019 Junior World Artistic Gymnastics Championships in Hungary. Won gold as well on floor in Melbourne, Australia as part of the World Cup Series. Competed at the last Olympic Games.
Diogo Escobar of Cuba. Escobar won Penaf 2 and
Very capable tumbler, a man whose aim is to have a floor element named after him. And despite such complicated twisting, he lands so neatly. Waiting for his score, looking to beat 13.900 to claim gold at the Cairo World Cup in the men's floor final.
Great close-up shot of her heel. And there's the score.
Well, his reaction tells you what his score is, a 14.066. His difficulty made the difference in the end, and he will claim gold as the only athlete to go beyond 14 in this final. The men's floor title goes to Ryu Sung-hyun of Korea Republic. The 21-year-old is a champion in Cairo. And that is an excellent performance, an exquisite performance as he edges out Diogo Escobar of Cuba, who takes the silver. While Eddie Penev of Bulgaria will take the bronze.
The suspense came in the end. The surprise.
Button in wanting to congratulate Ryu Sung-hyun, whose focus is on the camera, and indeed representing Korea Republic, a man who will be looking to compete at the Olympic Games in Paris as he did in Tokyo. Such a dynamic gymnast. And delight for the 21-year-old.
And the finalists of four are leaving the arena.
Great emotions for Ryu. Confirming that gold medal with a very accomplished routine. A high difficulty rating. And he's top of the podium in Cairo. The first gold medal of the Apparatus World Cup of 2024 goes to this man, Ryu Sung-hyun of Korea Republic.
The medal award ceremony will take place after the next two finals.
A smiling Eddie Penev as well. Confirmed as bronze medalist Eddie Penev with his 13.800, 8 for execution.
What a huge smile on his face. Of course.
Diogo Escobar, though, who went first in the final, holding on to that gold medal position till the very last athlete. There is Escobar, 13.9, an excellent execution score of 8.4 to make up for that lower difficulty. Sees him onto the podium with a 13.9. But the man who would not be denied. Ryu Sung-hyun of Republic of Korea, the junior world champion on floor in 2019, Wins the Cairo World Cup gold on floor in 2024. 14.066. Confirming the results. Ruiz with gold, Escobar with silver, Penev with bronze. Missing out on a podium place, Patanin with his 13.7, Otsberger 5th overall.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the judges.
The judges making their way onto the floor. Not the floor apparatus, onto the gymnasium floor. Two events to come, they'll alternate. Men's pommel horse final and the women's vault final. Here in Cairo, famous for its mosques, madrasas, hammams, fountains, and I absolutely love the culture and cuisine. A blend of old and new. It's just a wonderful mix, the Egyptian capital. Judges for the women's vault and the men's pommel horse are out.
And here's the first finalist of women's vault.
The women's vault final, let's introduce the 8 finalists. Kim Song-hyang of Korea DPR, 20-year-old who will go first in rotation. From India, Pranati Nayak, qualified 7th, 28-year-old from Kolkata. Alice Vulkova of Czechia, or Czech Republic, 16-year-old, qualified 5th. An Chang-ok, the Asian Games vault and uneven bars champion. This is An's to lose, you would feel. Kami Rasmussen of Denmark, still a teenager, will go 5th in the rotation. Deepa Karmakar back competing internationally and back into a final on her international return to competition. Qualified 6th, will go 7th, Takeda Chiaki of Japan. And Valentina Georgieva, the teenager from Bulgaria who qualified 4th for this final, will go last.
These are the finalists of men's pommel horse.
The finalists for the women's vault have been introduced. Let's meet the finalists for the men's pommel horse. Benjamin Otsberger off the floor and onto the pommel horse momentarily. He'll go first in rotation, representing France. Jordan's Ahmed Abou Al-Soud will go second.
Great Britain, Joe Fraser.
Representing Great Britain, Joe Fraser, qualified 6th with a really solid score of 14.666. Hur Ung of Korea Republic will go fourth, but a man who qualified first with an exceptional score, 15.233. One of the veterans, Olympic silver medalist in Beijing in 2008. Croatia's first Olympic medal in artistic gymnastics belongs to Filip Ude of Croatia. Ilya Kovtun of Ukraine will go next. Nariman Kurbanov, the tall, elegant gymnast, reigning Asian champion after winning the 2023 pommel horse title in Singapore, will go in the hopes of usurping Woong's massive score, and Zainullah Idrisov of Kazakhstan will be last to go in the rotation in the men's pommel horse final. A wonderful collection of talent.
Gymnasts will now go to the judges. Salute the judges.
The athletes will present themselves before the judges and acknowledge and salute the judges before the finals get underway.
And the first four gymnasts from each apparatus may now warm up.
Warm-up opportunities then for the gymnasts in the women's vault final and the men's pommel horse final. The table, it waits. First four athletes to go: Kim Son-hyang, Pranati Nayak, Alice Vukova and An Chang-ok. Two athletes from Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Osberger warming up on the pommel horse meanwhile. He's just come off the floor. Incredibly dynamic and versatile athletes. First four athletes to go. Start list and rotation 1. Osberger, Abu Al-Sud, Fraser and Hur. Ahmad Abu Al-Sud of Jordan, World Championship silver medalist a couple of years ago. He'll be among those hoping for some success. Going through the warm-up while Vukova meanwhile was practicing her vaults. Kim Son-hyang. Joe Fraser. What does he have in store for us? European all-round and parallel bars champion in 2022. World champion on parallel bars in years gone by as well. An Chang-ok and Kim Son-hyang both warming up their vaults. Well, the women's vault final, you've got to argue that this is An Chang-ok's to lose. As Woong warms up, this rising Korean star. He's got a massive D score and his execution is right up there with the best of everybody in this field. Volkova. Just going back to the point of An Chang-ok's, it really is hers to lose. She did a very good cheng in the prelim. She's the only gymnast in the final who's got 2 vaults with a difficulty of 5 or higher. So she's put herself in a really good position to win. If she executes cleanly, nobody is going to be catching her. It's a lovely landing from An Chang-ok. We've already seen some exceptional performances on the men's pommel horse. People like Olympic silver medalist and Asian Games champion Lee Chikai, unable to qualify for this final. Finished a little way down in the qualification. I think 11th overall. Only the top 8 qualifying for the final. Kim Song-hyun, a 20-year-old from Pyongyang, qualified 8th, 13.099 in qualification. A very awkward landing for Korea DBR gymnast.
The first vault of the athlete of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, Kim Song-kwon. 2 vaults for each athlete.
So the vault final works fairly simply. The athletes will each have 2 vaults, and then the difference between, or the cumulative tally, is then halved, and that is the final score for the gymnasts.
That was in Doha, I think. Yes, Doha in 2019, where she did vaults in and 4 exercises.
Just watch her landing. Gets a very poor block off the table and not a lot of height, which puts her under immense pressure to try and stick the landing. So she can't really complete the twist up in the air. So trying for the double twisting Yurchenko to start.
And we have a score of
12.566, a 0.3 penalty for Kim to start. Second vault to come. Much better this time, better height, greater amplitude, time to complete the element in the air and make the landing. So Kim Song-hyun has gone first in the women's vault final. First to go in the men's pommel horse final, Benjamin Osberger of France, 14.800 for the 22-year-old in qualifying. He qualified 3rd for this final. Just a lovely gymnast with good form. He's excellent on both floor and pommel horse, which is a rather uncommon combination, it must be stated. It's all about the physics of perpetual motion. A moment of stillness is going to end your routine. You need constant movement in the pommel horse. Having just come off the floor, this is incredible stamina and endurance for a man who is such a dynamic gymnast. And that's lovely to start the men's pommel horse final from Benjamin Osberger of France.
Benjamin Osberger in his 2nd final of the day already. Easy day for him. We saw him earlier on 4 exercises, now on pommel horse.
Good lines.
And the score is on horse for Kim Song-kwon.
Very nicely done for Osberger to start. Kim Son-hyun 12.599 her score between the two vaults, the second and that handspring front half twist. Pranati Nayak of India is next to go, having qualified 7th with 13.166 in qualification, the 28-year-old from Kolkata. An attempt to be on the podium in vault. This is her first for the Tokyo Olympian.
First of 2 vaults. She represents India. 28 years young. And she was born in West Bengal. Was the first Indian gymnast to claim 2 medals at the Asian Championships.
So it's a lovely start for Pranati Nayak.
And previously she won bronze.
Sukahara with a double twist to start.
Asian Championships in 2019. And there's the first score, 13.433.
So 13.433. A difficulty of 5.2. So that 5.2 difficulty could see her higher than 7th if things go a little better for her today. Second vault to come. That was lovely.
Pranati Nayak of India. And back to Awards.
Ahmed Abu Al Sud of Jordan next to go in the men's pommel horse final, the 28-year-old. 14.800 in qualification. Qualified 4th for this final, to the 2022 World Championship silver medalist, a man that made history by becoming the first Jordanian to medal at the World Championships a couple of years ago now. Back in Liverpool, using the pommels. Very slight bend in the body, but constant motion, and a lovely dismount as well. A man who is a breakthrough gymnast for Jordan. He's got several skills named after him on the pommel horse already. But a man who is utterly resilient. Nayak, 13.616. Excellent execution. 13.616. So she is currently top in the vault. That's a massive improvement by 4.45 from her qualification. And maybe a chance of a podium place for Pranati Nayak of India. Alice Vulkova of Czechia is next to go, 16-year-old, the reigning Czech champion on vault.
On vault now for the Czech Republic, Alice Vulkova.
Qualified 5th with a 13.316 did Vulkova. There's certainly a little room to improve.
Czechia. She's only 16. She was born in the city of Brno.
Just waiting for the score from her double twisting Yurchenko to start. Not seen her performing the double twisting Yurchenko. Perhaps a new vault for her. Still only 16 and very much maturing as a gymnast. 13.766 for her opening vault. 25 meters of runway to build up speed. Big jump backwards on the landing.
The second vault of Czechia.
She handles it relatively well, does Vulkova. Looking to better the 13.616 of Pranatinayak. Ahmed Abu Al-Sud, meanwhile, 15.066. That is an exceptional tally for the men's pommel horse. Joe Fraser is next to go. Joe Fraser representing Great Britain, the 25-year-old, 14.666 in qualification. He finished 6th overall. Joe Fraser, 3-time Commonwealth Games champion, including on the pommel horse in 2022. Spent much of last year out with injury, so it's intriguing to see how he performs in this Olympic year. European all-round champion, parallel bars champion in 2022, the 2019 world champion on the parallel bars. Great all-round gymnast, building up a very good routine, and just as I say that, just a moment stutter and pause and it's ended his routine. Comes off the apparatus. On a good day, he is so capable of not only winning a medal but winning gold. A wry smile from Fraser, he knows. A little shake of the head as well. She's coming off the apparatus. Vulkova, 13.466. And she finds herself second through 3 vaulters. Now, this is An Chang-ok. An Chang-ok, the Asian Games champion in vault, the 20-year-old. Qualified top with 14.050. Two vaults with a difficulty of 5 or higher. She's really in a good position to win. How does she start? Fairly well. If she can land her second vault more or less cleanly, it'll be an exceptional task for anybody to overhaul An Chang-ok.
The first one, the Kim Song-won. We saw her two vaults.
Going for the double twisting Yurchenko. She had a 0.1 deduction in qualification, so she has room to improve, and she still scored 14.050.
The first athlete of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, Kim Song-won.
Representing the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, An Chang-ok.
13.966.
The athletes back competing in the World Cup Series for the first time since 2019. 13.966 for her first vault. That is exceptional. And that right there is possibly the gold medal winning moment.
A big hug from the coach.
There are still 4 athletes to go in this final. Nothing is guaranteed just yet. Joe Fraser, 13.466. Came off the apparatus. We'll be disappointed with that. Hurung of Korea Republic, the rising star. Hurung, 15.233 in qualification, qualified top. He's got a massive D score and his execution is right up there with everybody else in the field. And this could very well be an entertaining routine. Good lines, good speed, good body position. Quick and clean hand movements. Routine management so important. Knowing how to get through your routine is so important. Oh, that is just a pleasure to witness. Hurung of Republic of Korea. That'll be a big score. 14.233 for An Chang-ok. That's a big improvement from qualification where she was top, as she got the gold medal guaranteed. Next 4 athletes to go in the women's vault final. Just having a little warm-up. Camille Rasmussen, Deepa Karmakar, Hatakeda Chiaki and Valentina Georgieva. That's Rasmussen just warming up. The teenage Dane. Ilya Kovtun of Ukraine, he's also warming up. So the next 4 athletes to go, the start list for rotation 2, Camille Rasmussen, Deepa Karmakar, Hatakeda Chiaki and Valentina Georgieva. While Kovtun warms up, practicing his flares. Next to go in the rotation, Philip Ude, Ilya Kovtun, Nariman Kurbanov and Zainola Idrisov, the last 2 athletes from Kazakhstan. Ude, though, one of the veterans of this apparatus, now 37, the Croatian. Nariman Kurbanov, meanwhile, is warming up. Such a tall, elegant athlete. His work is long and lean and sleek and clean. Camille Rasmussen, though, is ready for the women's vault final. Rasmussen, 13.500 in qualification. That's a good start. Is she going? No, not yet. Yes, Deepa Karmakar. She'll go through final warm-ups as well. .933, so Hurung is second, just behind Ahmad Abu Al-Sud. The excellent Jordanian performance sees him top. Here's Hatakeda Chiaki. Still a teenager, like so many around her. Philip Ude, meanwhile, he'll be first to go in the second rotation of this men's pommel horse final. Georgieva. European junior silver medalist in vault in years gone by. Uno, though, at 37, was competing internationally before some of the athletes around him were even born.
I think that was the final one of votes. Goal for Valentina Georgieva from Bulgaria. Yes, it is. We see the name of the first athlete on votes in the second part on the big screen. Next to the Pegasus. An athlete from Denmark.
Rasmussen. Kami Rasmussen, 19-year-old from Copenhagen in Denmark. Finished 5th in Cairo last year, but did win silver at the Doha World Cup leg. Rasmussen to start, just a little drift, and that is not what she had hoped for to start. She just practiced that vault. Just drifting as she got to the table.
Of vault specialists. Only 19 years old.
Now Rasmussen clearly affected by this first vault. Oh. Down she goes, just doesn't get the height off the table. And this is going to hurt for the vault specialist. She has a great deal of power, though. And what she needed to do over the last couple of years is to make everything look a little neater and a little easier, and she's done that. For somebody who took the sport up at the age of 4. Missing your block with your opening vault is problematic. It can happen to the very best. Nordic junior all-round champion a few years ago. The reigning Nordic champion on vault, and the first Danish woman to win a World Cup medal. And she won silver in Varna 2 years ago. She is such an accomplished gymnast. But she qualified second for this final. And she needed that first vault to be able to try to challenge Ang for the gold. Day 1 of the finals of the first World Cup event of the year, and we're in Cairo, a city of history, and athletes looking to create history here and now as well. Little delay, waiting for the scores for her first vault, and she hasn't landed it at all. Feet didn't touch first, so a score of 0. This takes immense courage to get up and complete a second vault after struggling with the first. Rasmussen being encouraged by the crowd. Far better.
Camilla Rasmussen, gymnast who has nothing to prove anymore. Happy to have her here in Cairo.
37-year-old Croatian Filip Ude, 14.466 in qualification. He finished 7th overall and is into this final. The Beijing 2008 Olympic silver medalist. First ever Croatian Olympic medal in artistic gymnastics. And he's got silvers at the European Championships, silver at both the Olympic Games and World Championships as well. He wants to win a gold medal at a major international event. 37 and still going strong. He is so proficient on pommel horse. He's tended to come off a bit in recent years, but on a good day, a medal is his. This is his speciality apparatus, and he still does some wonderful work. And it's just come back again, just tending to come off the horse a fair bit in recent years. It's happened again. A man who took up the sport over 30 years ago. His mother signed him up because he was always jumping on furniture, I believe. To complete his routine, Filip Ude of Croatia.
Filip Ude of Croatia, the Olympic silver medalist of pommel horse of the Games in Beijing in 2008.
Camille Rasmussen, 6.333. After the 0 for her first vault. It was a fine comeback from Rasmussen. Deepa Karmakar next to go. Deepa Karmakar of India, the 30-year-old on a return to international gymnastics. 13.449 in qualification. She finished 3rd in qualification, challenging for a medal. Needing a strong start. She's got a strong start. Now, An Chang-ok of Korea DPR has posted 14.233, but her difficulties are just so exceptional that she's going to almost guarantee herself that gold medal. But Pranati Nayak is currently in silver medal position with 13.616. And her compatriot here, Deepa Karmakar, is just...
She was the first Indian female athlete.
Has just produced a really solid first vault. First female gymnast from India to compete at the Olympic Games. She missed the podium by 0.15 as she finished 4th in the vault final at Rio 2016. Her first vault, a handspring front layout with full twist.
On the bronze medal vaults at the Commonwealth Games in 2014 in Glasgow, and that was also the first time that an Indian athlete won the bronze at the Commonwealth Games.
First shot to prominence at the 2014 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow did Karmakar, when she won bronze on vault. Karmakar, maybe some deductions for her slightly bent body and bent legs. Powerful first vault for Karmakar. She's always been adventurous in vault, one of the few women who's been able to land the Prorunova. Second vault for Karmakar. Sticks the landing. The first Indian gymnast to win gold at a global event. And she took the 2018 vault title in the Challenge Cup Series in Mersin. Philippe Houdet, meanwhile, the start of his routine was splendid. The 13.466 leaves him fourth through 5 gymnasts. Ilya Kovtun. From Ukraine, Ilya Kovtun qualified 8th for this final, 14.466, the 20-year-old. Another tall and elegant gymnast. World Challenge Cup Series winner a few years ago on pommel and parallel bars. Parallel bars is his main event on the pommel horse. Such a solid all-round gymnast. Oh, can't complete the routine without coming off the apparatus. Third gymnast to come off the pommel horse so far in this final. Ahmad Abu Al-Soud of Jordan still leads the way, 15.066, his score just ahead of Hurung of Korea Republic. Ilya Kovtun, for somebody who is not a pommel horse specialist, has a really good routine. Just a pity about coming off on a Busnadi skill.
Ilya Kovtun, one of the finest gymnasts in the world, silver medal winner.
The 2023 World All-Round silver medalist, 2021 World All-Round bronze medalist. Karmakar, 13.383. So she is out of the medals. Hatakeda Chiaki of Japan next to go. Hatakeda Chiaki, 19-year-old student at Waseda University in Tokyo. 13.300 in qualification. Her dad, Hatakeda Yoshiaki, a gymnast who competed at 2 Olympic Games, winning bronze in 1992.
One of the Democratic Republic of Korea will be the first medalist here in the women's vault final.
Just starting with Yurchenko with 1.5 twists. And somebody from a full family of gymnasts. Dad, an Olympic medalist, Yukiko, her mother, who represented Japan at the World University Games. Her older sister Hitomi is a Tokyo Olympian. Hatakeda Chiaki, second vault. Solid way to finish.
Chiaki Hatakeda, she's 19. She was born in the Japanese capital in Tokyo.
Ilya Kovtun, meanwhile, waiting for his score on pommel horse. .333, so he currently lies 6th. Also having come off the apparatus, like two gymnasts before him. Two gymnasts to go in the pommel horse. Nariman Kurbanov of Kazakhstan. Nariman Kurbanov qualified second for this final with a 15.166, the 26-year-old reigning Asian champion after winning the 2023 pommel horse title in Singapore last year. Can he challenge for the gold medal? Currently, Abu Al Saud's 15.066, the mark to beat. Bent legs. Oh. Loses his grip and again comes off the apparatus. Fourth athlete in this pommel horse final to come off. He has had a few concerns on the pommel horse in recent times. Sometimes legs just come apart mid-swing, but when it does happen, remarkably, he's able to get it back on track without coming off largely. Man who generally doesn't do too much on the pommels themselves, but a very effective gymnast. Kurbanov will be disappointed with that. 13.283 for Hatakeda. And that means that An Chang-ok is guaranteed at least a silver medal. Only Valentina Yurieva of Bulgaria to come. Qualified fourth, but a great chance of a medal if she can stick her 2 vaults. If she can execute them cleanly, Yurieva has a good chance of a medal here. The 17-year-old 2020 junior European silver medalist on vault. Good height. Gives her time to complete the element. First vault, a 1.5 twisting Yurchenko.
First two will be on the podium, that's for sure. But who will be number 3?
It's a vault that served her really well in the past. I remember she injured herself a couple of years ago. I think it was at the 2022 European Championships, trying to do the more difficult double twisting Yurchenko. ACL injury. Really lovely to see her back in competition, having missed potentially qualifying for the Olympic Games at Worlds due to injury. 13.8 for her first vault. A good second vault, and she is in the medals here. Relief. Kurbanov, meanwhile, 15.166 in qualification, 14.033 in the final, and he is off the podium. Zenola Idrisov of Kazakhstan qualified 5th with a 14.800. Teenager, just 18 years old, one of the rising, promising young gymnasts from Kazakhstan. Won bronze on pommel horse at the Junior World Championships last year, but makes his World Cup debut here. Is it going to be one to remember? So far looking good. Looking very good. Strong execution from the young gymnast. Very assured on the pommel horse. Just straightness of body, that aspect that you want to watch out for. Let's go to Yurieva now. 13.616. That is silver medal for Yurieva. Over half a point behind An Chang-ok of Korea DPR, but firmly on the podium. Execution of over 9. Idrisov. That is a really accomplished start to his World Cup career. And waits for his score. Joe Fraser with a quick handshake, applauding the young man. Can he get onto the podium? What a memorable World Cup debut that would be. Abu Al Sud's 15.066 is the mark to beat. Urwong 14.933, 14.8. He's on the podium on his World Cup debut, and that is a sensational result for Idrisov. Bronze medalist at the Junior World Champs last year as a senior, with the first of the World Cup Series legs in Cairo. He's got a brilliant bronze. Silver will go to Korea Republic's Hurung, and Ahmed Abu Al Sud of Jordan will take the gold. There's confirmation of the medalists.
The silver is from Korea for and the bronze for the man from Kazakhstan, for Zeynora Idrisov, bronze medal in his first World Cup ever.
There is an Indian gymnast on the podium.
That is really nice.
It's not Deepa Karmakar. Instead, it is Pranati Nayak. Qualified 7th, but finishes 3rd in the final. That's Yurieva, who sits on the left of your screen, but in the center of your screen, well, for a moment, was An Chang-ok, the champion. Pranati Nayak, 13.616, the exact same score as Yurieva, but her execution was down. There's the champion in the men's pommel horse, Ahmed Abu Al Sud of Jordan. Big improvement from his qualification. Valentina Yurieva, 13.616, execution of 9.033. Lower difficulty, higher execution score. She claims the silver medal in the women's vault final. Hurung watching on. An Chang-ok, it was hers to lose. Excellent 2 vaults, 14.233, and she is champion of the women's vault. Hurung attempted a very, very difficult routine. His execution was more than adequate. It was lovely, but just unable to match the execution of Ahmed Abu Al Sud of Jordan. Secures a stellar silver medal after qualifying top. The bronze medalist on the pommel horse Zainola Idrisov of Kazakhstan, just 18 years old, one of the rising stars, the Junior World Championship medalist, takes bronze in his World Cup debut here in Cairo. A rising star from Republic of Korea is Urung. 14.933, good enough for silver. His execution score down on his qualification, but still just shy of 15, secures a silver. But the gold goes to the only man who would go beyond the 15-point mark. The 28-year-old 2022 World Championship silver medalist, the first Jordanian to medal at a World Championships, is Ahmed Abu Al-Soud, and he's got gold in this World Cup leg in Cairo. Confirming the results in the women's vault final, An Chang-ok champion ahead of Georgieva. Nayak of India finishes third. Volkova just off the podium. Karmakar fifth overall. Hatakeda sixth. Kim, an improvement of one space from qualification. Rasmussen with a fall on her opening vault sees her finish eighth. The pommel horse final saw Ahmed Abu Al-Soud of Jordan claim a brilliant gold medal ahead of Hurung of Korea. Kazakhstan, Zainola Idrisov with a very accomplished routine on the podium as well. Reliving moments of magic from the start of the session. Diosdado Escobar. The genuinely splendid routine to open the men's floor final. One of two Kazakhstan athletes in this final. Dmitry Patanin and Ilyas Azizov both representing Kazakhstan. Patanin into the mana. Azizov. Benjamin Osberger. He's had two finals to start the day. This was his first. Going in the floor final. Fourth in the opening rotation. Kim Hun-sol entertained. The twice Asian Games champion on floor. Edipenev given a second chance by coming into the final as first reserve, and he absolutely nailed his second chance. Getting onto the podium with a lovely routine. And a man who would not be denied the gold. Going last, he came first. Ri Sung-hyun.
We are ready, ladies and gentlemen, for the first award ceremony, the award ceremony for the grand
Now the medal ceremony.
Please welcome the medal winners. And we also welcome the medal presenters.
The medalists and presenters for this Cairo World Cup men's floor final make their way out.
The gold medal, ladies and gentlemen, will be handed out by Mr. Koyani Wakanabe, FIG President.
The FIG president, not only in attendance, but will hand out the gold medal.
DGF President and FIG Executive Committee member. And the bronze medal by Mr. Vitani, President of the Gymnastics Federation of Morocco. Third place and bronze medal winner from Bulgaria, Eddie Penev.
Edipenev, first reserve, snuck into the final, given a second chance, and how he used it onto the podium with a bronze medal, 13.800. Georges Escobar of Cuba qualified fourth but finished second with a 13.900. The 21-year-old student athlete from Cuba, Stella Silva. But a glittering gold medal for Ri Sung-hyun of Republic of Korea, the 21-year-old, exceptional on the floor for a man that won the Junior World title in 2019. 14.066 for you. Escobar can be delighted after that wonderful performance to open the floor final. And Penev with a massive smile. His brother Kevin already qualified for the Olympic Games. Eddie looking to secure an Olympic berth as well. And now for the national anthem of Republic of Korea.
The podium of the men's floor final. Gymnasts, congratulations. Wonderful job. Thank you so much for being here with us in Cairo. One more picture, of course, all together on the highest podium. You can be proud of those medals.
Confirming the medalists. Soo-hyun of Korea takes gold ahead of Diógenes Escobar of Cuba and Eddie Penev of Bulgaria with bronze.
Gymnasts, congratulations. Thank you so much. And we are ready for the award ceremony for the women's vault final. Please welcome the medal winners.
The medalists and presenters for the women's vault final make their way out. And Chang-ok competing in the World Cup Series in an Olympic year as the reigning Asian Games champion. And she did not disappoint.
Third place and bronze medal winner representing India, Pranati Nayak.
Qualified 7th for the final did Pranati Nayak with 13.166. At her 5.2 difficulty first vault got her into a really good position. And with her second vault she didn't disappoint. She finishes in bronze medal position. Valentina Georgieva of Bulgaria takes the silver with a 13.616, same score as Nayak, but a higher execution. She takes the silver. But gold to An Chang-ok. Two brilliant vaults, a double twisting Yurchenko and a Cheng. .233, good enough for gold for An Chang-ok of Korea DPR. She was utterly exceptional at the Asian Games, where she won gold on both the vault and the uneven bars, and contributed to Korea DPR's bronze medal in the team event in Hangzhou as well. Sensational from Nayak. That's a great bronze medal for somebody who is very technically proficient but doesn't have the highest difficulty scores generally. And now for the national anthem of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
The podium of the women's vault final with India.
Confirming the medalists in the women's vault final: bronze to Pranati Nayak of India, silver to Bulgaria's Valentina Gorvieva, and gold to An Chang-ok of Korea DPR.
Thank you, gymnasts. Congratulations. Award ceremony now for men's first final. Please welcome the medal winners.
The medalists and presenters for the men's pommel horse final, making their way out. Three exceptional performances on the apparatus. One incredibly notable performance from Zenola Idrisov, who claimed Kazakhstan's first ever Junior World Championships medal just last year. On his World Cup debut here, he is on the podium again.
The medals, ladies and gentlemen, will be handed out by Apparatus, FIG Men's Artistic Gymnastics Technical Committee President. We will hand out the gold medal, the silver medal by Andrew Toombs, FIG Men's Artistic Gymnastics Technical Committee Vice President, and the bronze medal will be presented by Apparatus, Egyptian Gymnastics Federation board member. Third place and bronze medal winner, an athlete from Kazakhstan, Zenola Idrisov.
18-year-old Zenola Idrisov with a very fine 14.800 on the pommel horse to claim a brilliant bronze. Hurung of Korea Republic, the rising star with a massive D score. His execution not quite where it was in qualification, but finishes with stellar silver, 14.933. But it's Jordan's Ahmad Abu Al-Sud who is champion, and a very popular champion. 15.066 in the final, a big improvement on his qualification score, and he takes gold on the pommel horse. For a man whose breakthrough actually came on the pommel horse at the 2019 Asian Games, winning gold. He won gold in Doha in 2022, silver in Singapore last year. Continuing to rise. The two rising stars and an established veteran on the podium. And congratulations all round. With the medals handed out, we now rise for the national anthem of Jordan.
Stand up for the national anthem of Jordan. The medalists of the men's pommel horse final, Zenola Idrisov.
Confirming the medalists for the pommel horse final: Zenola Idrisov with bronze, silver to Hurung of Korea Republic, and Jordan's Ahmed Abu Al-Saud with gold.
Gentlemen, congratulations. Thank you so much.
Penev, Escobar, Rue. The medalists on the floor. Lights are back on in the venue, and we are set for two more finals on this day one of the finals of the first FIG Artistic Apparatus World Cup Series legs of 2024. 10 apparatus finals over 2 days of competition. We've seen 3 finals concluded already, 2 to come. They are the women's uneven bars and the men's still rings finals. Judges will make their way out imminently, and then the athletes to be introduced individually.
And we are ready for two more finals. Please welcome the judges.
Judges for the uneven bars, then the judges for the steel rings final. Lovely venue that this is. Cairo International Stadium, located in Nasser City, a suburb around 10 kilometers northeast of the center of Cairo. Introducing the finalists for the uneven bar. Natalie Westlund of Sweden qualified 6th with a 13.200. She'll go first in the rotation. Becky Downey of Great Britain qualified as the top contender in the uneven bars. 13.933 for the now 32-year-old. Should say Rebecca Downey, MBE, member of the Order of the British Empire at last year's New Year's Honours. Giulia Marano of Italy will go third. Second competitor from Great Britain will go fourth, Ondine Achampong, who turned 20 a week ago. Fukasawa Kokoro of Japan will go fifth. She qualified fourth overall with a 13.500. For a long time a staple of the Australian program, now representing New Zealand, Georgia Rose Brown, second in qualification. Huang Chuofan of China will go 7th. And also from the People's Republic of China, 23-year-old Luo Huan, who returns to the World Cup circuit for the first time since 2018. Rings final will feature Artur Avetisyan of Armenia. He qualified top. Nikita Simonov, always a challenge for medals from Azerbaijan. The now 27-year-old, 33-year-old Jongyong-il of Korea DPR will go 3rd in the rotation. Daniel Villafane of Argentina qualified 8th, but is delighted to be competing in this final. It's a big final for him. Samir Ait Said of France will go 5th, qualified 4th overall. Courtney Tulloch, he's got the highest D score at 6.4. Salvatore Maresca, gymnast who took bronze in Cairo in 2022. Was on the podium as well last year. Bahagan Davtyan, 35-year-old from Armenia, will go 8th in the rotation. The uneven bars final, 8 top-level athletes, but the men's rings final, incredibly tight final that awaits us. And what's really interesting is that the top qualifier of Tisyan of Armenia has a considerably lower D score than many of the other competitors, but he executed his routine so well it didn't matter in the end. Courtney Tulloch has got the opposite strategy. He'll go 6th in the rotation, and he's got a D score of 6.4. He shed a few execution tenths getting to his qualification score, making it harder for himself, but he's also showing what he can do in an Olympic year. So 2 minutes of warm-up for the athletes and their respective apparatus. For the women, uneven bars final. The athletes who will go in rotation 1, Natalie Westlund, Becky Downey, Julie Morano and Ondine Achampong. And then the still rings, as they're called. Rings to most. They are the least stable of all the apparatus, and they therefore require the greatest amount of strength. And these are athletes who have plenty in abundance. Avtisyan, Simonov, Jong and Villafane. Just doing a few warm-ups. Natalie Westlund, Becky Downey. Next to have her opportunity to go through final preparations. Her sister Ellie recently retired, Ellie Downey. Becky's still going strong though. But she has come through so much. So much. Unbelievable resilience, both mentally and physically. An Achilles rupture in 2011, another Achilles rupture a couple of years ago that really set her back. And there's more the balance beam, I suppose, that she really struggled with. She had to rehab quite significantly, and when she returned, she described that return as trying to learn to do routines again with a new foot, to give you an idea of what she went through. And she's still going strong. Undine Achampong turned 20 a week ago. She'll have her opportunity next, but it's Marano, 15-year-old from Italy, making her World Cup debut here. Italy have not sent their strongest female athletes to Cairo this year. And it is an excellent result for Marano to have made this final. The Junior World Vault silver medalist and team bronze medalist. She's going to have to put in a really solid execution score if she is to challenge for a place on the podium, though. Doesn't have the difficulty to be competitive for a medal when listed next to the other athletes in the final, as Achampong gets onto the uneven bars to warm up. Making a rare appearance on the World Cup circuit. But this is an Olympic year. She's also excellent on balance beam. .166 in qualification. The rings final. We'll see 8 competitors go, including this man, Chong Rong-il of Korea DPR. 14.2 in qualification. Villafañe of Argentina just having an opportunity to warm up. Preparing for her routine is Natalie Westlund from Sweden. If the name is familiar, her twin sister Emily represented Sweden as well. She was at the World Championships in Liverpool 2022. Natalie Westlund, 18-year-old from Sweden, first to go in the women's uneven bars final. She qualified 6th with a score of 13.200. This arguably the most spectacular of the women's events. Demands strength as well as concentration, a great deal of courage, coordination, split-second timing, cat-like reflexes to adjust if required. Very solid start for Natalie Westlund. At the heart of the uneven bars are the release and catch elements, and she executed those very nicely. Artur Avtisian of Armenia, top qualifier for the rings final. Artur Avtisian, 14.533 in qualification, the 26-year-old from Yerevan. We'll go now first in the rotation in this rings final. Seems to be doing what he does really well. His D score, his difficulty is only 5.9, but his execution is astonishingly good. The 2019 World University Games champion in rings. Oh. Lovely strength to start. Into the iron cross from the Maltese. Sticking a landing in a rings final is so critical. often because the finals are so tightly contested. And the ring's the only apparatus that moves, so the key is to keep them still. Here comes the dismount. Apparatus. A stylish routine. Natalie Westlund, 13.066. That's Becky Downey, MBE. 2019 European Games and World Championship silver medalist Rebecca Downey of Great Britain. 3-time European champion, 2-time Commonwealth Games champion. She's been competing in international gymnastics for almost 2 decades now, the 32-year-old. And still competing despite potentially career-threatening injuries. Just speaks volumes to her mental strength and her unbelievable resilience and fortitude. Top qualifier with 13.933. Oh. She has such a lovely swing. It is fantastic. Completing her routine, but there is some disappointment for Downey. Arthur Avitisian, 14.466. So a little down on qualification. The 27-year-old Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan, 14.500 in qualification. Took the bronze medal in Doha and gold in Baku last year. 3 rings golds in the World Challenge Cup series. But he's been focusing on rings in recent years in the hopes of achieving a place at the Paris Olympic Games. Completing the element nicely, just holding. Just including the unison in his routine. A little correction on the landing, but very nicely done from Nikita Simonov. And who's got an element named after him in the code of points, the Simonov. And he first performed at Liverpool at the World Championships in 2022. Just roll backwards slowly with straight arms and bring your body to inverted cross through swallow.
He won the gold medal here in Cairo last year, as you might remember. And we have a score for Rebecca Downey,
Nikita Simonov, the champion in Cairo last year. Becky Downey, meanwhile, a score of 12.933. She will be disappointed with that, but she is a courageous athlete who's still going strong and absolutely competitive. Julie Morano of Italy.
Welcome to the end of the racing.
13.200 for the 15-year-old Italian in qualification, qualified 7th for this final. And on a World Cup debut, to have made the final is an exceptional result already. Putting together a really lovely routine. A really lovely routine. Junior World Vault silver medalist, team bronze medalist. Doesn't have the highest degree of difficulty, but she can certainly perform very well. 14.433 for Simonov, so he's not going to take gold in Cairo for the second year in succession. Jong-yong Il of Korea DPR, a 33-year-old from Pyongyang. 14.200 in qualification. Qualified 7th for this final. Holds the elements so well. Looking for the big dismount, and he's delighted with that. 14.466 is the mark to beat.
To the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, we have been watching a He's 33 and born.
Marano, meanwhile, 13.366. She goes into top spot. So, through 3 gymnasts, the Italian, 15 years old, leads. Ondina Champong of Great Britain, the 20-year-old, 13.166 in qualification. She snuck into this final, qualifying 8th, but she's capable of producing a much improved score in the final. I'll be watching her later this weekend as well in the balance beam final. World team silver medalist with Great Britain at the World Championships in 2022. This is such a lovely routine she's putting together, very smooth transitions. And she could be very pleased with that, Ondina Champong. Jong, meanwhile, 14.600. He goes into gold medal position in the rings final. A big improvement of 0.4 from qualification. Now Argentina's Daniel Villafañe. Qualified 8th did Daniel Villafañe for this final. The 30-year-old who studied economics at the University of Buenos Aires. It's a lovely moment for him to be in this final. Holding the handstand for some time here. And Villafañe is delighted with that. Achampong goes into top spot as expected with that performance. 13.866. She qualified 8th. But a massive improvement by 0.7 sees her in top spot halfway through the uneven bars final. Fukasawa Kokoro warming up. Warm-ups for the next 4 athletes to go in rotation. Fukasawa, Brown, Huang and Luo will go in rotation 2. Fukasawa first to go. Luo will be last to go. That's in the uneven bars final. In the rings final, 4 competitors to go. Aid Said of France, Talak of Great Britain, Maresca of Italy and Davtyan of Armenia. Maresca, who took silver in Cairo last time out. There's Talak. Meanwhile, New Zealand's Georgia Rose Brown going through her warm-ups. Double Commonwealth Games champion, Courtney Tulloch. Villafañe awaiting his score, 14.200. And he was delighted with his routine. The judges perhaps a little less exhilarated by his performance. He's 4th through 4 athletes on rings. Two athletes for China in this uneven bars final, both still to go. They will be the last 2 competitors. Huang Zhuofan. There's Italy's Maresca on the rings. Huang Zhuofan. If you look at the difficulty in execution breakdowns from qualification, you've got to say that Huang Zhuofan, who made a mistake in qualification, collecting only 7.166. If she's clean in her routine, let's say put her a point higher, you don't want to say she's got the gold medal wrapped up, but she'll certainly be challenging for the gold medal if she can keep her routine clean. There's Maresca. France's Samir Ait Said. He'll be next to go in the rings final. 2019 World Championships bronze medalist. There's Luo Huan, 23-year-old, who is already a veteran. Very good competitor. So just about set to go in the second rotation, in the uneven bars final and in the rings final. Final preparations for Fukasawa Kokoro, 22-year-old from Shiga. Fukasawa Kokoro of Japan, 22-year-old, qualified fourth for this final with a 13.500. One of the core Japanese team members. She's genuinely an excellent all-round gymnast who can pop in with exceptional performances and routines. And handstand not quite hitting 12, loses the swing, the momentum. Now to finish strong. And a strong finish from a courageous gymnast who's so very competent. Samir Ait Said of France, 5-time European Championships medalist. Samir Ait Said, fifth to go in the men's rings final. Now 34, the Frenchman looking to compete at the Paris Olympic Games. He was France's flag bearer at the Tokyo Olympic Games at the opening ceremony. Many might remember his most unfortunate, horrific leg break during qualification at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. It's exquisite, keeping the rings so incredibly still, combining a Yonason and Yamawaki into the iron cross, fingers flared. You can say this about so many athletes in rings finals, but it's just incredibly, incredibly strong. Samir Ait Saeed.
Fantastic athletes. Great to have him here in Cairo.
Seems pleased. Meanwhile, Fukasawa Kokoro lost her swing, and that'll count as a fall, so she loses a full point. Her execution is down an 11.766 for the shining Japanese star. Now Georgia Rose Brown. Represented Australia for over a decade. And now looking to reach the Olympic Games, representing New Zealand, Georgia Rose Brown. Qualified second, 13.700. At the moment, that would take her into second position behind Achampong, who leads with 13.866. It's an excellent start from Brown. Sticks the landing. Is that going to challenge for the gold medal? I think she believes it might. Georgia Rose Brown. Tall and excellent swing. 14.433, so Ait Saeed sneaks onto the podium for now, but there are 3 athletes remaining in this rings final. Among them, Courtney Tulloch of Great Britain. Courtney Tulloch, 28-year-old double Commonwealth Games champion, 2018 and 2022. Silver medalist on vault in 2018 as well. Part of the gold medal winning England team at the Commonwealth Games of the last 2 editions. The first British gymnast ever to win a global medal on rings, a bronze at the World Championships in Liverpool. Now his difficulty rating, his D score is 6.4. This is an incredibly difficult routine. And while he's likely to shed a few execution points in this routine, he could still score incredibly well and beat his 14.366 from qualification. Bronze medalist at the 2022 World Championships. Remember it so well. Oh, Courtney Tulloch. Disappointment at the end. But a competitor who gives it his all, so very courageous. Georgia Rose Brown looking to beat 13.866, 13.700. She goes into silver medal position with 2 athletes to go. Now, here's an athlete, a gymnast with incredible in-bar work, the 16-year-old Huang Chuofan of China, 4th at the World Championships last year. And I dare say she is poised to improve on her qualifying routine, which scored her 13.466. Huang Chuofan of China next to go. If she puts in a clean routine, given her difficulty, she will absolutely be challenging for the gold medal. Great momentum. Lovely swingfulness, as it's termed. And that is splendid from Huang. She certainly has the ability to put in a score that could better 13.866. But has she done enough? Courtney Tulloch, who right at the very end wrapped his feet around the ring straps, and he's down significantly from qualification and out of the medals. Salvatore Maresca of Italy next to go. Took the silver medal in Cairo in 2023, behind Nikita Simonov and ahead of Artur Avetissian. At the moment, the mark to beat is 14.600. Chung Ryong-il of Korea DPR, who is guaranteed a medal. With just 2 athletes to go in the rings final. This is the penultimate competitor, the man from Naples, nicknamed Thor because of his strength on the rings, Salvatore Maresca. Beautiful control. Into the iron cross, fingers splayed again. Just holds it so well. No planche. This is looking really good for Maresca. How does he finish this routine? Fairly solidly. Salvatore Maresca. Good strength positions, some really good swing movements as well. That's the athlete who had the best command of those elements and positions. That displays the extraordinary skill on rings. He's going to walk away with the gold medal here. This was an exceptional performance, despite the little step on the dismount for Huang Chuofan. Has she got the gold medal in her sights? Her routine looked even better than her performance at the World Championships last year, where she finished 4th. Maresca waits for his score, but Huang Chuofan still waiting for hers. Maresca 14.500. That puts him second and guaranteed a medal, with only Vahagan Davtyan of Armenia to come. Still waiting for her score in the uneven bars. Huang Chuofan from People's Republic of China. Lovely in-bar work. Her compatriot Luo Huan next to go. 14.233. She goes into gold medal position with one gymnast remaining. Very much as expected, an improvement by nearly a full point from qualification. Much better execution. And she's poised to take the gold medal here. Only one competitor can deny her, and that is compatriot Luo Huan, who will go here. Luo Huan next to go. The countdown clock has started. She's got around 20 seconds to get her routine underway. And here she goes. 23-year-old Luo Huan of People's Republic of China, returning to the World Cup circuit for the first time since 2018. Twice national champion. Asian Games and Asian champion. World Championships bronze medalist a few years ago. Looking to better her compatriot's mark of 14.233. Huang Chuofan currently in gold medal position, ahead of Ondine Achampong. Very solid performance. Didn't quite get the height and the release for the dismount, but a smile from Luo Huan as she completes her routine and completes the uneven bars final. Vahagan Davtyan, now 35, the older brother of Olympic medalist Arthur Davtyan. A man who took up gymnastics at the age of 6, now nearly 30 years later, competing in this rings final. A man who won silver on the rings at the European Championships last year behind the reigning world champion Adem Asil of Turkey. And he has had success in Cairo before on rings. He won gold here in 2022. Starts with a planche. Statuesque character who has a fantastic rings routine. Iron cross into Maltese. He gets the principle of hitting everything first time. So important in a rings routine. Looking to nail both the strength and swing movements. And that's lovely. Simply lovely from Davtyan. Great support for the Armenian fans. And from the Armenian fans for the Armenian competitors here in Cairo. The mark to beat is 14.600. Jongrong Il. Salvatore Maresca's silver medal position, 14.5, a point down on Jong. But Vahagan Davtyan very solid start and a quality routine, excellently executed. This is a very tight final as expected. And there's less than 0.2 separating the top 5 at the moment. Vahagan Davtyan. 14.500. He goes into silver medal position. Execution of 8.5 for his 6.0 difficulty routine. Vahagan Davtyan, but that means the champion is Jongryong-il of Korea DPR. Winning the rings title with a splendid performance. Much improved from his qualification score. Davtyan a little down on his qualification. 14.533 in qualification, 14.500 in the final. Maresca on the podium again in Cairo. Courtney Tulloch congratulating the victorious gymnasts. Point 1 separating the top 3. Luo Huan waiting for her score. The very last competitor on the uneven bars. Needing to better 14.233, 13.966. It's a China 1-2. And Great Britain's Achampong on the podium with the bronze. Maresca being surrounded. Great performance from Maresca. There's the medalists. China 1-2 and Great Britain's Achampong with a very fine bronze. A little love for the world. Huang Zhuofan of People's Republic of China with a splendid gold. Lovely performance that was even better than her World Championships performance last year, arguably. Salvatore Maresca, 14.5, an execution score of 8.3, which ultimately proved decisive because that is what saw him on the tiebreak lose out on the silver medal. The same score as Vahagan Davtyan, but a higher execution score for Davtyan. Vahagan Davtyan, 8.5 execution, 14.5, good enough for silver. The champion of the rings, Jongryong-il of Democratic People's Republic of Korea, 14.600, 0.1 separating the top 3. Undina Champong, 13.866, good enough for a very fine bronze medal, having qualified 8th for this final. And it's not even her favourite event. The balance beam final to come on day 2 of the finals here in Cairo. Luo Huan, the 23-year-old veteran, 13.966, silver medal for People's Republic of China. And her compatriots claiming gold. Splendid in-bar work, lovely routine, a difficulty of 6.5, 14.233, good enough for gold for Huang Chuofan. Huang Chuofan, champion on the uneven bars in Cairo. The medal ceremony is still to come. And what a day of action it's been. Confirming the results in the uneven bars. China 1-2 with Huang and Luo finishing 1 and 2. Undina Champong of Great Britain third. Managing Georgia Rose Brown of New Zealand off the podium. Morano with a very fine performance finishes 5th. Becky Downey having come off the apparatus. The rings final was always set to be an intriguing one, and indeed it was. 0.1 separating the top 3 as Zhong takes gold ahead of Davtyan and Maresca, with Davtyan taking the silver courtesy of his better execution. Vatisian just off the podium. Looking back at moments from the uneven bars final, beginning with Westlund of Sweden. Vatisian began the rings final, and what a beginning. 14.466 that nearly saw him on the podium. Becky Downey, such a competitor. A year ago she hadn't competed for a year, and now she's back. And in an Olympic year, looking strong. She was really strong in qualification. But in the words of commentator Ollie Hogbin, she will finish when she chooses to finish. For the great athlete Downey. Nikita Simonov just a little down on his qualification score. Qualified third overall, but finished off the podium in this rings final. Now for the medal ceremonies of the uneven bars and rings. This is the uneven bars medalists who've made their way out to the podium. The presenters will follow. And really important to remember that the Apparatus World Cup points awarded to gymnasts who place among the highest on each apparatus at each event. Gold medal gymnast earns 30 points, silver earns 25, bronze 20, fourth is 18. It works all the way down to 16th place, which then earns a single ranking point. But the World Cup Series rewards gymnasts who are consistent. And the final ranking points will take into account the gymnast's best 3 performances across the 4 in the series.
Third place and bronze medal winner from Great Britain, Dina Champong.
This is a brilliant bronze for Ondina Champong. Turned 20 a week ago, back in the World Cup circuit, and a 13.866, an improvement of 0.7 from qualification, earns bronze. Luo Huan of People's Republic of China returning to the World Cup circuit for the first time in 6 years, and she's won silver with a 13.966 on uneven bars, but with a clean routine that was exquisite. Was Huang Chuofan of People's Republic of China. 14.233 she scored. No, that's Huang Chuofan who we're looking at, the gold medalist. There's Luo Huan, twice Asian champion. 2018 Asian Games gold in the team, and silver in both all round and uneven bars. And now for the national anthem of the People's Republic of China.
The medalists of the women's uneven bars final, 1 from Great Britain and 2 from the People's Republic of China.
Confirming the medalists in the uneven bars. Champong of Great Britain with bronze, China with a 1-2. Luo Huan takes silver and Huang Chuofan gold.
Gymnasts, congratulations. Thank you very much. And it is now time for the medal ceremony for the men's middle weight final. Please welcome the medal winners.
When it's time for ceremonies, there is a color red.
The medalists for the still rings final from Italy, Armenia and Korea DPR. Silver medal in 2023. He's got the bronze medal on countback in 2024. Salvatore Maresca of Italy, 14.500. The man from Naples. Vagan Davtyan of Armenia finishes in silver medal position, also with a score of 14.500, but with a higher execution score. The man who won silver at the European Championships last year is silver medalist in Cairo. For the man who takes gold, with a much improved performance from qualification where he posted 14.200, 33-year-old from Pyongyang, Jong-ryong-il of Democratic People's Republic of Korea, with an exceptional gold medal, 14.600 in the final. Difficulty of 6.2 and an execution of 8.4. Qualified 7th, but finished first in the final. And now, for the second time in Cairo today, the national anthem of Korea DPR. Confirming the medalists in the men's still rings final. Bronze to Salvatore Maresca of Italy, silver to Vagan Davtyan of Armenia, and gold to Korea DPR's Jong-ryong-il, 14.600 in the final. Smiling medalists, all champions. What a wonderful first day of the finals it's been at the opening leg of the World Cup Series in 2024. And as the medalists depart, so do we. We certainly hope you've enjoyed every moment of excitement on day one of the finals here. And we leave you with some wonderful images. Hope you'll join us for day two.